Brady, we got the A topic today, which is Matt Harvey, and he's going on the DL. But more importantly, he's going to see a specialist in St. Louis today, and it's not just any kind of specialist; it's a vascular specialist, and that doesn't sound good to me.
No, see that when you first texted me yesterday, oh wow, Matt Harvey to the DL, and my first thought, Rodger, was maybe not that big a deal. I mean, he's probably not going to have another start before the All-Star break. They want to bring up a reliever, so let's clear a roster spot. Let's put Harvey on the DL, retroactive to his last start. We'll get another reliever up here, and we'll bring him back right after the break. So I thought, maybe not that big a deal. But when you read the details of this, you're talking about vascular specialists. You're talking about blood clotting possibilities. Mm-hmm. This is a major deal for the Mets and for Matt Harvey personally. And
Dylan G was sent to see this specialist, and his name is Robert Thompson. And when Dylan G went to see him, they diagnosed G with a damaged artery, and they performed season-ending surgery on him. So we're all hoping that that's not the fate of Matt Harvey, but that's the kind of medical storyline that we're dealing with here later on today.
Yeah, and the fear is that if something is wrong with Harvey, he too could not only be out the whole rest of this season, but you'd even be talking about into next year as well. Remember, Chris Young, former Mets 6'10" pitcher in the Royal system now, visited with Thompson also in 2013 to correct thoracic outlet syndrome, which is a nerve condition. And Rodger, we had Jason Stark on Mike and Mike this morning, and he gave a little insight to Harvey as well.
How bad of a situation are the Mets in with Matt Harvey?
Well, here's a situation that they're in. Matt Harvey went in the DL yesterday. The Mets announced he's going to see Dr. Robert Thompson in St. Louis. His expertise is thoracic outlet syndrome. So if it turns out that that's what he has, or he's been dealing with a blood clot, here's what that tells us. It certainly explains to some degree why he has struggled so much, and I guess that would be the good news, but it almost certainly means he'd be done for this year, and then the start of next year would be in question if he needs surgery, so that would be the bad news.
That's Jason Stark, and we have our Dr. Bob, Robert Webb, our RMD to this program, and has been with me for many, many years on my radio trails, and we thought we'd bring him into the mix because this is terminology that maybe we could be enlightened on, like what is exactly thoracic outlet syndrome and how serious could this be for Matt Harvey when he goes and sees Robert Thompson today. So let's bring in Dr. Bob. Doctor, good morning. Rodger Wyland, Brady Farkas, how are you?
Oh, I'm great, Rodger, but I'm saddened about the news about Matt Harvey because it's a very serious condition.
All right, update us on exactly, from a medical standpoint, why is Harvey going to see a vascular specialist today? Start there.
Okay, Rodger. Thoracic outlet syndrome is there's a space between the collarbone and the first rib, which is compromised. And what is it compromised by? Either an overgrowth of bone or overgrowth of muscles. And what happens is in that space, there are arteries, veins, and nerves. And if that starts getting compressed so that you get narrowing of the blood vessels and the nerves, you start getting pain in the shoulder, the neck, numbness down into the fingers. So think about grabbing a baseball with the numbness. And also, you can also get pain in the chest and also the back. And it curiously enough, Rodger, it happens in pitchers more often than other baseball players because they're constantly raising their arms with force and straining in the same position. And in Harvey's case, it's curious because another cause of it is if you've had surgery like Tommy John and he had an intensive rehab, you can actually cause an overgrowth of what we call the scalene muscles, which are in that space, and they in itself can cause the compression and the symptoms. So, is this muscular? Is it bone? What is causing the compression? And Robert Thompson is the best in the country in this. Is operated on a number of pitchers.
What's the worst? So the worst case scenario would be surgery. Is there a best case scenario? Could he go there and this not be a big deal? And he's on the 15-day DL. We've got the All-Star break, coming up next week. So he's going to get a little bit of break there, and then he gets back on the mound sooner than later. Give me the worst case, best case here.
Okay, worst case is, Rodger, season-ending surgery into probably a month or two of next year. And what they would do is they would remove the overgrowth of muscle and bone tissue and create more of a space there. And make sure, of course, that the blood vessels are all right, because you don't want to get a clot postoperatively, which would set you back even more. Best case scenario, and I'm looking at less than 10% chance on this, Rodger, unfortunately, would be physical therapy, exercise, cortisone injections, and non-steroidal anti-inflammatories by mouth, massage. But that works once the diagnosis is made, Rodger, it's a surgical condition till proven otherwise.
Dr. Bob, appreciate your thoughts as always. And Dr. Bob on an as-needed call, and we needed to make the call today. I appreciate helping us out with the medical terminology of exactly what's going on with Matt Harvey and his visit to the vascular specialist this afternoon. Doctor, thanks for a few minutes.
Anytime, Rodger. Thank you.
All right, that is our Dr. Bob. That's very helpful there.